And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. And you got one day, tomorrow, Thursday, the last day of the year, to get your Galactic Fried Chicken fix. So tomorrow, get down to Dayton, Kentucky, or get on the app. If you go in person, tell them to pump it up, save yourself 15%. They will be back, I believe, on January 4th. So yeah, your time is ticking, and you want to get it tomorrow before the great white blizzard hits, or whatever is going to happen here. I know it's going to be cold as hell by Friday. That should be great.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
I think they said 25 below with the wind chill at 20 sometime Friday. Yeah,
it's dumb.
Yep. All right. Chad, Brendel, Aaron Smith, here we go. What do you think, Aaron?
I mean, I helped you arrange things.
What do you think? A little Viktor Lakhin over here.
Just looks a little bit more alive than it has.
Yeah,
instead of just a cold, bare room.
Landers Nolly, Corey Kiner, Sauce, Cody Lamb. Cody Lamb will be fired up to see himself in the picture here. And then the one over my shoulder, that one didn't come out as great as I wanted it to, but it's senior day, and it's got Trey Scott and Jaron Cumberland. It's like Kevin Johnson and Troy Copain. Little celebration with the students. I thought that was festive. So yeah, and I got 5 more of them to put up. Or 7 more of them to put up. I'm gonna fill up this little spot over here.
That's what I'm saying. It'll look far more alive.
Yeah, it only took a year for me to just not have this plain ass wall behind me, but we're getting there. Let's put a bow on signing day. At least what we know as of now. 11 high school players added to the roster. 4 transfers added to the roster. So 15 new players for this coaching staff. And I mean, look, the lowest rated high school guy, 86.14.
It's pretty good.
That used to be like the best.
The top
kid in the class. Yeah, like that would be the top kid in the class. That is Ty Perkins at 11 is an 86. You add later, like if you watch the show with Dave and I today, and you can find that in the live section, recapping right after the Satterfield press conference, Barry Jackson and Kamari Burns had not yet signed at that point, so we didn't get a chance to really get into them, obviously. But you can get all the other 9 up there, and then the 4 transfers: Emory Jones, Dorian Jones, Trevor Radosevich, and Luke Kandra. So a pretty good haul. Like, all things considered, you're going through a coaching change. You're going through a new recruiting department. You're going through a lot of things that are in flux. And I think you still put a pretty darn good class together, especially considering they're still able to hit the transfer portal. Like, there's going to be another visit weekend coming up in January. They also have a couple wide receivers that visited last weekend that are, deciding what their future may hold, if they commit or if they hold on into the next window. But I think the main takeaway for me, Aaron, is things seem stabilized at the moment.
It's not a 5-alarm fire anymore.
Right.
And I think that was probably the biggest important thing for Satterfield and staff to do, just coming out of the gate, to put people at ease. Quarterback seems to be a logjam at this point. Who saw that coming?
We also had a couple things happen since then as well, where Ben Bryant announced he's coming back for his 6th season.
Mm-hmm.
Jawan Briggs announced he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that combo in a 3-man front of Briggs and Corleone, that perfect. Like, you can't. It anchors the middle. It gives you some ability to stop the run. People can't just run right up the middle on you. So a pretty good signing day overall. That quarterback room, I'm sure we'll have plenty of conversations here on the Nightcap talking about that quarterback room over time.
I'll be surprised if all three of Ben Bryant, Emory Jones, and Evan Prater are still here come the end.
Where's Emory Jones going?
Well,
he's here.
I get that. I'm just saying
he's here. So you can cut that list to two.
My point is you're not going to have that whole room as it currently stands the same by the end of spring ball.
And Brady Lichtenberg is going to expect an opportunity to compete for this job. He's
as
going
he should.
Into
He's
year
been
3.
here.
Yeah,
sure. You're here to compete. You're not here to just hold a clipboard or put on a headset.
Right.
Do the hand signals on the side.
He's no Jake Sopko. Oh, that was shots fired. Shots fired.
Whatever
they do this one a lot.
Milking the cow?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't either, but the Macarena. So all in all, a productive signing day for Scott Satterfield. I think it gives the fan base a little bit of a chance to take a deep breath.
I watched the presser, and it's going to take a little while to go from Luke Fickell to, gee, gosh, doggone it, golly. Shucks.
You always felt like Luke might slip and drop a cuss word in at some point in time.
I was always shocked he didn't.
Like, he never did, but you always thought, like, is he going to?
One might be coming.
This the day he slips? No. So yeah, we'll have a lot more on that. Dave and I, I'm sure, will get into it extensively tomorrow night on the BCJ podcast. So let's get to basketball. A 72-54 win over Detroit Mercy. First and foremost for me, defensively, they faced a team with two elite scorers, two guys really put the ball in the bucket. And I think they did a pretty damn good job. First on Antoine Davis, 6 of 20 from the floor, which Viktor Lakhin told us tonight was terrible. 2 of 8 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, but only 17 points for the nation's leading scorer for a team that has struggled defensively this season and has played without their top 2 defenders. They did a really good job tonight, and that really good job was the product mainly of one guy. David DeJulius did an excellent job guarding Antoine Davis tonight. And I think what this team was going to need in the absence of John Newman and Rob Finney, somebody was going to have to step up and set the tone on defense. David DeJulius did it in the crosstown shootout. David DeJulius did it tonight against the top scorer in the country. That is becoming, as long as, your leading scorer, Dave is taking a lot of pride in guarding that scoring guard from the other team. He's doing a pretty solid job of it since the second half of the shootout.
And that was your takeaway on Dave. My takeaway on Dave was a little different. I thought that he set the tone in a way that game felt entirely too close at the end of the first half. And he ends up hitting that 3 at the buzzer and then comes right back and gets the steal and goes and makes the drive for the layup at the beginning of the second half. And it was like
he had a 10-0 run to end the 2 halves.
It was like, we're not losing this game. And he, again, just takes the team, puts it on his shoulders and is like, this is the tone of Bearcat basketball here at home. This is our game. And I mean, it was a little reminiscent of what he did at the end of the crosstown shootout, in just that, hey guys, I'm the leader here. Follow my lead. Step in line. Let's go.
Now, those were the only 10 points he scored the entire game.
Sure, but they were very important points at a critical point in the game. Because if he doesn't score those points, the game felt very topsy turvy. I didn't feel even.
Well, they had that stretch where they hit 4 threes. They went on a 12-0 run. They hit bang, 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 bang. They
at the beginning of the game,
At the beginning of the game.
Even at the end of the game, they caught within 12, and I still was starting to be like, oh God, what's going on here? So it just never felt comfortable, I guess.
You know why? You know why? Landers Nolly, 5 of 13, 1 of 6 from 3.
Not great.
Mike Adams-Woods, 4 of 9, but only 1 of 5 from 3. David DeJulius, 4 of 13, 2 of 8 from 3. Jeremiah Davenport, 3 of 15, 2 of 12 from 3. People are freaking out about JD today. I didn't have as much of a problem with it as most people did. Dan Skillings, 1 of 7, 0 of 3 from 3.
I think the reason people were freaking out about JD
because of the start.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to see Jeremiah Davenport being the guy shooting the ball the most times on your team.
I disagree.
Really?
If he's open and taking rhythm shots, which he did outside of that first 8 minutes, I thought the last 32 minutes of the game, he took good shots in the flow. They're playing a wonky. They were switching between 1-3-1 and 2-3. But I thought for the most part, he took good shots. He just wasn't hitting them. I'm okay with that because now what he did the first 8 minutes of the game, he can't do.
He did make up for it, though, in assists. He had 5 assists. So if you are going to criticize him on the shooting end.
And that's what I'm getting to. He wasn't forcing every shot.
No.
He's learning now, if I'm not open, move the ball, somebody else will score, and there are still opportunities for me to get shots in the flow of this offense.
It was a weird night. I mean, you didn't even bring up Skillings going 1 of 7, 0 for 3.
I mentioned him last. You weren't listening, but I did.
I was probably just trying to think of another point. But yeah, I mean, the whole flow of the game just felt weird.
They missed open shots all night. All night they missed open shots. They airballed 5 balls in the first 2 segments.
Odie's game felt weird. Like I felt like he had
a stretch at the end of the first half that was really good. Yeah, look, man, Antoine Davis is really hard to guard, and that throws everything off. Is what I'm trying to get at, because he's so herky jerky, and he's so good at making tough shots that I think everybody's trying to anticipate. All right, what are we going to have to do? And then the ball goes up, you're out of position, and then you try to get a rebound that you don't really have any business trying to get.
Vic's best game?
Up there. Vic's best post game, for sure.
His post game TV chat with what's her name? The blonde. I can't remember her name. She does all the Kelsey Conway. That was even entertaining. Like he's got so much personality, and you'd love to see
his. I haven't uploaded it yet. Have you seen what happened?
I didn't see the presser. No.
So yesterday, they used the scout team to when they're working on install of the other team. So they're in half court, going through the other team's offense, and the GAs really are only allowed on the floor when they're doing half court work.
No.
And they each have a role representing the other guy. We joked about CJ Anthony got to play Antoine Davis and was just lighting people up. So he missed everything, but he was shots. But Jalen Stowe lit up Vic a good deal yesterday in practice. And Vic, there were a couple times we were practicing yesterday. I was like, Vic is going to fight Stowe.
And I took that personally.
Vic is going to fight Stowe. They didn't, but, you could tell Vic was getting frustrated because Stowe was kind of cooking him. And then, Wes would yell, and Vic can't really say or do anything about it. So I asked about CJ Anthony in the postgame, about him doing a good job preparing them for Antoine Davis. And Vic was giving credit to Stowe for doing a good job being Dezemi Anderson, who was their other Demezi Anderson, who was their other high level guy, played at Texas. And out of nowhere, Stowe's like, I also want to give Vic is like, I also want to give Stowe credit. He made it tough for me. I hate you, Stowe. I hate you, Stowe. So we followed up, and he's like, he pushes me, he gets me yelled at. I can't answer back. I don't think it's fair. Like, and the media room is just cracking up. But he went out of his way to go after Stowe. And then I asked Wes after, I hate you, Stowe. That was the exact quote from Vic. I hate you, Stowe. And I asked Wes, and I'm like, can you enlighten us on this budding rivalry between Vic and Jalen Stowe? And Wes was like, what are you talking about? What is happening? Why are we talking about Jalen Stowe and Vic in the post game? And then we told him afterwards. It was pretty funny.
8 of 10 from the field, though. 2 of 2 from the line. 7 offensive, 8 defensive. Gives him another double-double. 18 points, 15 rebounds. You can't – 30 minutes. I mean, no personal fouls.
What have we talked about? We are watching him level up. Right?
I think it's his best game.
I think it's right up. Like, if it's not, it's right up there. Now, the only thing you could maybe say is
3 steals.
They didn't have a 5. So
I think he got robbed on that block too. That was called goaltending.
Well, that can't be goaltending because Dan blocked it, and then it hit Vic. Like, Vic went to block it, and Dan blocked it first into Vic's hand. How is that a goaltending?
Somebody got robbed, whether it was
the
Dan
shot,
or Vic, whoever.
Well, the goaltending was called on Vic, I believe, because Dan blocked it off the backboard and then Vic hit it. Yeah. Or at least that's what it looked like to me from watching the replay in the arena.
They didn't give a very good replay angle on that.
Yeah. So yeah, that wasn't a goaltending, but right up there with one of Vic's best games, if not his best game, and that's what you want to see from the big fella going into conference play, and his confidence is stacking.
Yeah,
is stacking.
But you have a shitty night.
Well, hold on. I want to ask you a question. Do you think Vic is petty enough that he had a great game just so he could go in the post-game press conference and tell Jalen Stowe he hated him?
I hope so. I truly hope so, because if that's the case,
and I took that personal.
Yeah, I keep doing what you're doing, Stowe.
Stowe talks. I love Stowe. Jalen Stowe, and Wes talk. Go and watch Wes. I'll have that up after we get this uploaded. Wes talks about Stowe and how much he considers him part of the family. You know, from being at some of the open gyms, Stowe talks more shit than anybody.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Troy Copane would be like, I like that dude.
Stowe's also about like the nicest dude off the court.
Of course, he's great. Yeah, I love Stowe.
But yeah, you love to see that kind of thing, especially from a coach out there.
Right,
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Fantastic night from Vic, especially when you have a shitty night shooting from the rest of the team, for the center to be like,
oh, imagine how bad their numbers would look if Vic didn't go 8 for 10.
If Vic doesn't play 30 minutes, the whole game's different. And so, they don't win. I don't think they win this game if Vic doesn't do what he does. Between that and DeJulius,
they held. The other point is, if they don't play defense like they did tonight, because everybody was off, right, except for Vic. The perimeter shooting was terrible. They did not have a good night offensively. But they held Detroit Mercy to 54 points, which 2 weeks ago, this would have been 70 to 68 in the final minute.
You don't want to lose to Detroit Mercy at home.
You can't lose to Detroit Mercy and NKU in the same season.
No.
You can't be third place in the Horizon League.
No.
Bad. There we go. We'll see you next time. It's the Nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!